Hi, my name is Nicole, licensed clinician, and we're here talking about everyday things that impact our mental health and fitness. And that includes the dreaded topic of finances. So, financial wellness includes four key components: spending, saving, borrowing, and planning. And it's really important that you work on improving the health of each one of those things. So, I'm not going to talk about like how to do any of those things or what you should be doing with your money. Um, Financial social workers or a financial coach could be really, really helpful because not only do you have to like create the plan, but you also need to change some of the mentality and the thought process around what drives those decisions. Sometimes that could be a mental illness, an underlying mental health concern that's untreated or unchecked. For example, something like bipolar disorder with mania. A lot of times, excessive spending is part of that. Sometimes with depression, people purchase things in order to make themselves feel better. We saw so much of that during COVID when everybody was like, we had to be inside, right? And Amazon was right there at our fingertips, and we were otherwise like bored and needed some sort of like catharsis. And that was Christmas every day when the Amazon boxes came. And sometimes for some people, especially because of reduced work, reduced hours, increase in living expenses, and like not an commensurate increase in pay, um, kind of ended up in maybe a little bit more debt than we needed to be. But that also said, that can also kind of snowball into leading to feelings of helplessness or hopelessness and despair in regards to being able to recover from those finances, which can then make the depression or the anxiety worse. And so we're looking at basically like the chicken or the egg kind of thing sometimes, I guess, depending on how things kind of just played out, right? So all of that to say, obviously, finances are stressful. We also carry with us some like generational or cultural messages about money. So if your like great great grandparents came to America and then like the Great Depression happened, your grandparents were raised with a certain mentality about money, and then that gets translated down to your parents, and that gets translated down to you, and then eventually somebody has to kind of like break the cycle and have maybe a little bit of perspective change on money and like what the purpose of money is, and what a healthy relationship with money is, because you can be a saver and there's nothing wrong with being a saver, um, but sometimes it can become very difficult for people to spend money even when spending money is necessary, which then kind of can lend itself to some other longer term negative impacts. So ultimately, learning a new way of thinking about money and of interacting with money is going to be what sets you on the path to financial wellness and well-being. Um, you can talk to your bank. They might actually have some sort of like a financial educator or financial education program. Your library might have something like that. If you're employed, your employer might actually have a financial wellness program that you can enroll in. Um, Again, having a financial coach or a financial social worker could be really, really helpful for that individualized attention to like what is your actual finances look like, the dollars and cents. Like, let's get this on a spreadsheet or whatever, organize it somehow, and then talk about like the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts and the thought process that kind of goes through all of this and overcoming some of that. So it can be hard, especially when the in and the out aren't quite aligned. Um, and you're not really like living beyond your means. You're just trying to like make it work, right? There are ways that you can make it work. Sometimes it requires a little bit of brainstorming, which is why it's really a good idea to have like an objective party to kind of sit down and help go through certain things, and also coming to them with an open mind about like, okay, well, like ultimately my goal is to be able to have the, let's say, financial flexibility to go on a vacation with my family once a year or every other year or something like that. And right now we can't. Be able to pay for it in cash rather than put it on a credit card, or put it on the credit card just to get like the rewards and then be able to pay it all off when we get home. Things like that. So having, again, very specific goals, like financial goals, but then talking to somebody about like, let's look at the reality of the situation here and how do we get there. You can do it.